There's no doubt. So thanks to the folks at OGO. They're bringing you our next guest. This man went 1-1 at Paula in the 450 class, an absolute dominant day. Factory Honda's Chase Sexton. What's up, Chase? How are you, man?
I'm pretty good. Coming off a weekend like that, it's hard to be down on yourself. So everything's good right now.
Yeah, really, right? That had to have been one of your, I guess, better races maybe you've ever had. Like, seriously, how damn impressive was that?
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's a dream day for me. I crossing the finish line after that was crazy. I've obviously won outdoors before, but I've never won both motos and qualified fastest both practices. So
yep.
In Supercross, my goal was to qualify fastest, win a heat race, and then win the main. Never got to do it. So outdoors, I feel like even tougher to do that. So I'm stoked. It's been a good, like I said before the race, it's been a good couple of weeks leading up to it. I felt really good on the bike, and it paid off, obviously.
Yeah. Hey, so did you have an inkling coming into the race that you felt pretty good? Like, did you obviously, look, everybody feels good. It's the first race, but you never quite know where you stand. Like, coming in, were you happy with the bike, happy with your training? Like, did you think, like, hey, I can win this weekend? I mean, like, I know you guys are always thinking you can win, but, like, for reals, were you pretty stoked coming in?
Yeah, you can hear me, right? I'm good?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I actually told somebody prior to, I think that was a couple weeks ago at Thailand, I said, this is the best I've ever felt on outdoors. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I just felt really good on the bike. I think I actually tested last year after the season was over, after I took my off time. We tested in Florida at Rattray's track and did some outdoor testing before I went in, even into Supercross. So I picked up actually like a second a lap last year.
Oh, wow.
Just testing.
Yep.
And just kind of felt a lot more comfortable. We ended up, like I think everyone knows, I went to Geyser's racing over in the GPs.
Mm-hmm.
So went to that, and then obviously went into Supercross, and then came out. They came out the weekend after Salt Lake City, did some testing, and man, it was crazy how good I was feeling. And then I did, I think, 4 40-minute motos the week after that. Just kind of did a lot of just motos and get myself comfortable. And I told somebody literally a week ago, I'm like, this is the best I've ever felt. So it's cool to see it pay off. And yeah, like that. I mean, it didn't really surprise me on Saturday because I was feeling so good. But again, it's like I said, it's a dream day for me.
Yeah, you mentioned that shock, and I know it's a bit of a controversial shock. Like, guys have had it on. AC's run it. The JGR guys had it. Some guys don't like the feel of that thing. They don't like it late in motos. They haven't got it down, but clearly you've been happy with it, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, I think AC ran it 2020 outdoors when he had a really good season. I don't know if it works super good in Supercross. I think people have went back and forth in Supercross on it.
Yep.
I think it has a little bit of inconsistency in the whoops. From what I've heard, I've never ridden in Supercross. So my biggest thing was if the guys over in MXGP are running it and they test all year round on outdoors, and I think it works different on different bikes too. I think some bikes it helps it. I think on the Honda it helped rear wheel traction and overall just coming into the corners. Kenny and I kind of have a different ride, not a different riding style, but he likes his bike to be a little bit taller in the rear. I like it to be more flat coming into corners. So that gave me that comfort, and it just helped me ride the bike how I want to. And yeah, it's been really good. We did one change to it. It's not Geyser's actually shock. We've done a little bit of manipulating, but it's been really good. I haven't made too many changes. Obviously, I wasn't saying the bike was perfect on Saturday, but it's something that I can ride. And towards the end of the moto is when I felt really comfortable on it. So that's kind of the key when you're racing guys like obviously Kenny and Eli and those guys. They don't back off towards the end, so you got to keep going. Yeah,
and also I'm sure the thing works pretty well with Tim Geyser. He's got like a 100-point lead in MXGP. He's doing pretty well. So yeah, it obviously works, right? And also too impressive, Chase, that you went 1-1 after you dive bombed your teammate like that. Good God. I like how
which one was it? It was the one before the finish line. I went to go make a pass, but I kind of made like a fake pass the lap before.
Yeah.
and I think he saw me there, and so he dove to the inside. I was already committed on the gas, so I hit him.
Yeah.
Not obviously trying to run him over, but the one off the jump, that was not on purpose. I
meant the one.
I
after
went
the
way
finish.
too long into the bumps. Luckily, I have a pretty good. I'm pretty strong. Otherwise, I probably would have ran either into the side of him or would have crashed.
Yeah, Tyler, you brought that up earlier. Yeah, that was a close one. Yeah, but after the race, you were like, "Hey, dude, I didn't mean to do that to Kenny," and Kenny was fine with it. But yeah, it was one of those moments, right? Yeah, where you were committed to it. So
yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to get by, obviously, and he's so fast at the beginning of the races that even the second moto, I was almost expecting him to pass me because he's one, his line choice is really good, and two, he's obviously really good early laps. So I actually learned from a lot of his lines and was able to pick up on that, and that's what helped me towards the end. But it was good racing. I love racing Kenny because we've done a lot of motos and practice laps together, and obviously are pretty good friends. So
and it was cool. You know what he's going to do. He's not going to do nothing dumb. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anything like that. You're very, very in tune with what he's going to go. Was it cool for you to have that Honda look, the blue seat and your gear, the Lawrence's gear, your gear, Kenny's gear? As for an old guy like me, I loved it, man. I thought that couldn't look any better. That was awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it. We rode we did the 23 photo shoot basically on the Monday, last Monday, and we got to see like the new bike and stuff like that, and it was super cool. I honestly didn't even really I didn't really know what the old bikes look like that much, so It was cool to kind of see it and then see the old bikes too up close. And I honestly think anything different, because we race the same thing every single weekend, so something different is awesome. So I liked it. I like the gold wheels. I think gold wheels are super cool, and I think a lot of the manufacturers now, like Yamaha, and even when Suzuki runs gold and Yamaha runs blue, I think it looks cool. I don't think the Honda would look that great with red wheels, but seeing something different on there is cool. And like I said, it was the gear. Kenny's obviously on Fox, and I think he looked pretty similar to us and Alpine Star, so that was also really cool.
Yeah, it was a really good look, and it couldn't have gone any better for your team. Just an amazing day. I have two older Hondas, and both of them have the gold rims on them. I put the gold rims on them because that's just it's a bit before your time or Carnow and Medaglia's time here, but that's how Honda looked good. Those kind of gold rims. That's it, So. Looked really good. What a day for the team. You guys, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Good job for everybody there.
It was crazy. Lars was there. Everyone was super stoked. Obviously, it was a great day for them and all the Southern California. So you got all the higher ups from Honda there. We have actually some of the Japanese from Honda are over right now, which was cool to see how happy they were. And it's been obviously the 250 team has been really good. Consistently, but Kenny and I have had our struggles, so it was cool to see us go 1-2, and I think they were obviously really happy about it, and we had a little team powwow after, and just to see how happy everyone was. And I want to keep it going though. We've always kind of had success at Paula, so I want to keep it going. I don't want to just obviously do good there, and I think we have at least for me, I have a really good bike underneath me right now, so I think we can keep it going.
Yeah, going back to the bike thing, and you just said that you guys were struggling a little bit, with the Supercross thing, and then Kenny wasn't really there while you were still racing Supercross. Now, when you came back to outdoors, was there some questions coming in beforehand, before the outdoors, and then when you nailed the fastest qualifier, were you was it more of a confidence, a relief that you knew that, okay, yeah, we're in a good spot?
I was pretty confident, honestly. Like I said, I had a test last year in October, and right away I was way more comfortable on outdoors. And then we went right into Supercross, and then when I got back on my bike, when we did the test after Salt Lake City, we made even more progress, and I was super happy. And when I can ride the bike how I want to, easier is kind of what I was looking for. And being at Rattray, this track is really rough and kind of more like a GP style track. So super good testing, and it was softer dirt, and something that I really struggle on is sand. So to test in that and then also have the clay there was really good for me. So then after that, I did my motos, like I said, and I came in here last week to Paula press day and felt super, super good. So coming into the weekend, I kind of had my eyes set on winning. So I wouldn't say it was a surprise. It was a little bit of a surprise to kind of top every session. But like I said, after Supercross, I had a really good last 5 races. Being on the podium 4 times out of 5 was good for me, and to kind of build something going into this outdoor series. And I think we executed it pretty well. But like I said, it's a long series and something that I want to keep building on and get better.
So I noticed like that little step down before that first big uphill. There wasn't very many guys doing that. I noticed you and Kenny were doing it, but it didn't seem like very many other guys were doing it. Why do you think that? Because I mean, on the broadcast, it didn't seem like it was that gnarly. But I mean, obviously the TV makes everything look a bit smaller. But yeah, if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
I actually, to be honest, I didn't even think about it all day until first moto. I didn't do it in qualifying at all. Then I'm behind Kenny and I see him jump and I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that. And then I literally just came around next lap and followed him off. It was super simple and pretty easy. And the uphill, the reason I started jumping it was because the uphill after, especially first moto, going inside and kind of having to turn going up that whole hill was a lot of holes and rocks and stuff like that was kind of sketchy. So it made it easier just to jump in, go to the outside and kind of square up and be going straight up that hill was kind of my idea behind it. But it was actually really fun and kind of felt like a little bit of a Supercross double. It was downhill. You didn't want to overjump because you were in the berm, but other than that, it was pretty simple, I felt like.
Yeah, it's odd because, like you said, Logan, it didn't look big on the broadcast, and TV does make it look small. But you're like, why isn't everybody else doing it? Look how smooth that is.
Yeah,
look how momentum you have. Look at everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like I noticed.
It dropped off quite a bit. That's it. I think that's why it was so intimidating because it was like it did drop off quite a bit, and if you overjumped it, like I said, you were in the berm, so you kind of had to be on point.
Yeah.
If you carried speed through that turn too, it kind of forced you up towards the top, and it was super mellow at the top to the right side. So.
Yeah. Kenny and I were kind of jumping into it, like almost like jumping into the middle of the corner, because if you jump to the outside, you have less room for air. And I was actually going so slow that sweeper before you could go fast if you're going to the inside because you didn't have to time it or anything. But I was riding pretty slow through that corner just to jump that. But it was actually probably one of my favorite parts of the track.
You guys, you brought that up earlier. Honda is good at Paula. Jet's 4-0.
We are good there. I don't know.
You won a moto, right, Kenny? Yeah. You guys are good at Paula. Oh.
Jet, I think Jet's undefeated there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Something about Lars is cheating. Lars has figured that out. We gotta get to the bottom of this.
Well, if we do it again this weekend, then it's for real.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and speaking of that, like, I don't know how much you follow this stuff or whatever, but like we talk title and we talk about Ferrandis, and this was before he got injured, and Eli's Eli, right? And Kenny's a 2-time champion. He's a question mark. I mean, myself included, Chase. We're like, yeah, Chase can win races, but we didn't talk much about a title for you. And
yes.
I mean,
yes.
What you agree?
Yeah, I was aware. I was aware of it. I didn't, not so much you, but like even just like pro motocross and stuff like that. I didn't feel like I was really someone they were looking at to be a contender.
Yeah.
Which I mean is fair enough. I haven't showed great consistency this last 2 years. So, but I actually like I said, I was feeling confident, ready to go. I put myself in that kind of category, so I don't blame you guys for it, but
yeah.
I definitely noticed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe all of us need to be like the switch is going to flip. You're going to figure this out. Your speed, your skill, everything will come together. We see this 17 rounds in Supercross. It won't go like, it won't be inconsistent forever. I think you're going to figure it out, and maybe you will. And we'll sit here after round 12 and be like, well, yeah, just like Ferrandis, he won the opener and he never let go again. Like,
well, it's his age too.
Yeah,
like
the
it's
age,
just,
right? Yeah,
how
third,
it's imminent.
Right,
he's coming.
Yes,
it's
yes.
just the way it's happened. Like
so maybe all of us idiots need to really think about this kind of stuff.
Even when he was walking, like I was telling these guys earlier, when
T-Dags had a moment. He was watching you, Sexton.
you were like just the way you were walking up to get to the gate and to your bike. It was like full gear, goggles on. It's like RoboCop coming in.
I need to do that in Supercross. Dude, so I got the competition.
I'm gonna do that next weekend.
It's have you seen that GIF with Vince McMahon walking into like the ring?
Floating.
That was Sexton walking in.
Yeah.
Chase, was it neat or interesting or cool to race Ryan Dungey?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was weird though, because like Ryan, he was obviously like, he was my team owner at one point at Geico.
Oh, that's right.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy now to look at that, and like I only really met him when he was after racing, at least. So he was definitely more relaxed, and now I'm his competitor. So it was a little bit of a different vibe this weekend with him, just because like I wanted to go up to him and talk to him, but like I'm all racing him, so I didn't really know what to do. And I think he has his game face on. I think he came on here prior to the season and says that he wants to compete for a championship. So he's obviously ready to get after it, and so am I. So it's gonna be a little bit different. Our relationship has been kind of I had his brother as my mechanic, so obviously I talked to him. I talked to Ryan a little bit too, and like I said, he was my team owner at one point. So it's going to be a little bit of a switch in our relationship.
I like you, but I don't want to look at you.
I'll tell you what, when he came on the show and said, I'm coming back for podiums or wins, I'm like, okay, Ryan, sure you are. But, dude, I mean, he ran third in both motos. He went 5. He's going to get better.
He's going to get better. I do count on him getting better. So
good. That's awesome.
I'm going to do everything in my power to not let him beat me. But it's cool to race him because he is. I feel like he is one of the guys though that is super for how good he was. I feel like he is underrated because I was actually watching a highlight video of him. I think it's on YouTube or something of how much he won, and it's crazy to look at it. And I feel like he is a little bit underrated because how.
Yeah,
he was never really the fastest, but he was just so consistent and so solid that it's pretty crazy to look back at it.
He gets a little bit of discredit because RV beat him 4 straight years. RV beat him in the outdoors when RV wasn't hurt. Ryan Villopoto beat him. But you look at the other times and you're just like, Dunge was just, dude, his podium is incredible. His stats for podiums are just incredible.
Did he go? How long was his podium streak in Supercross? It was it like 2 years?
Yeah, something like that. Like
that is
20-something races, I think, right?
Wrap my mind around that. It's unbelievable.
I thought it was 33 or something, or maybe maybe 28. I don't know. It was nuts, just nuts, right? But you look at he's third all time or second all time in 450 motocross wins. You know, it's incredible. Well,
he's not a slouch, that's for sure,
dude. So I wonder, does Stu come back now? Like, who else looks at Dunges? Does Ferry come back?
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be great.
Get him back.
Timmy's a little bit. I think Timmy might be. He might be past that point of coming back.
Might be just a little bit.
Are you gonna wrench?
I would wrench for him if he came back.
If he said he wanted to do a pro national, would you do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd take him to the top again. Wow, I took him to a lot of podiums, a lot of thirds. Yeah. So not really the top, but almost.
Yeah, watch out, this
Chase.
picture right here, passing Wyndham.
Yeah.
Were you with him when he won? Because he won a lights championship, right?
Yeah. No, that was not me. No, that was way before me.
That's tough.
He beat RC in '97, and then, dude, I think him and we got third. We got some seconds, but we must have gotten 15 third places at nationals. It was a lot of thirds. But you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, he's still on the podium, I guess. It wasn't
consistent.
So bad.
Consistency.
Yeah. Hangtone. What's your thoughts on Hangtone? Some people like it. Some people hate it.
I actually like it. I think it's got a lot of like off-camber turns, and for me, I love ruts, and that's what I grew up racing. And I think Hangtone gives obviously a lot of ruts, a lot of the downhills, big braking bumps, stuff like that. But for me, I'm just looking forward to having, like I said, ruts and a clay track. And I've been working a lot on my sand riding lately because I do struggle. I feel like in sand, just coming from Illinois, there's not much sand there. So I'm just happy to go to a track that has ruts, and I've seemed to do pretty good there. I've only raced there twice actually because I was sick last year with COVID for the last race. So I'm excited. I think I like I said, I've enjoyed that track. It's kind of a different style, so looking forward to it. I like pretty much every track on the series. I say Southwick is probably my least favorite, but not because it's sand. It's kind of a weird track. It's got sand, but it's hard underneath.
Yeah,
so
it's got a hard base.
Difficult.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chase,
yeah,
so
looking forward to it.
with your, I know that you like to. It was talked about in Supercross where you kind of ride on your own, and your training is kind of on your own. And obviously this weekend, I mean, looking at the broadcast after you finished winning that second moto, like it didn't even look like you were sweating that much. And then you had Kenny right beside you, and he was, red as a tomato. What do you do a lot more of, like on bike, like training focused, or is it like a good mix of both, or seasonal, or like can you go into your training a little bit?
Yeah, so like you said, I do train a lot on my own. I have Peter Park as my on the bike coach, which was Kenny's trainer for a while, Chad Reed. Train a lot of triathletes. He's really smart when it comes to off the bike training. On the bike training is just is my dad. So I think for this year, the biggest thing for me right now is I had a really good build up before Supercross. So I had a whole month in Santa Barbara, or maybe 7 weeks, where I was training a lot, kind of built that base. And then now I'm kind of able to sit back on that, especially for outdoors. It's so hard to build fitness, especially this late. It's not late in the season for outdoors, but we've been racing since January. So for me, I did all that training back in November, even December, and now I can kind of rely on that, where last year I didn't really have that base fitness. So I was struggling in outdoors late towards the moto. And last weekend, especially second moto, I was I didn't feel like obviously fresh. I was a little bit fatigued just going into the last race, but throughout the moto, I could kind of snap my finger and pick the pace back up, which is something I actually was decent at in Supercross, which I actually feel like I struggled later in the races my whole career until this year. And just, I guess for me, just all that training I did back in the off season, now I'm able to kind of rely on that. And this weekend, I think 3 laps ago, I think it was a 218, low 218 down, which was good enough to kind of get me a little bit of a gap. And like I said, I felt good after the race. So it wasn't hot, but I'm looking forward to those tough races.
It was very apparent that your fitness
okay,
was
right.
good. Like just even like going through that like domination of a day, and that would be stressful for anybody, right? And like to look how composed he was after the finish line, and that was sick.
Actually, speaking of Dungey, it reminded me of what I saw Dungey do in so many 450 Nationals, right? Where you're just like, is this guy even trying? By the way, Travis said Dunge has 2 streaks of 21 straight in Supercross.
Two streaks of 21.
Yeah, 2 streaks of 21. That leads me. You can't hear the callers, Chase, because of the FaceTime thing. But we have Max on line 1. He says you have great technique, which is obvious. I like how RJ said, "Hey everyone, if you're a rider, just watch Chase Sexton. Like you watch how he." I'm like, RJ, I could watch Chase Sexton for 800 hours. I could have a house next to the track. I ain't riding like Chase Sexton.
I saw your tweet after the race. I thought it was funny. I was laughing.
Yeah, I just like. I mean, look, I get it. Like, RJ's just
watch. That's all you gotta do.
Just watch Chase. Oh, really? Because if I just watch, can I ride like that? Because Logan, you should just ride like Chase Sexton. Logan,
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
All I gotta do is just come out to the sandbox, right?
Yeah, just ride like Chase Sexton. It's funny, but it's fine. But anyways, Max said he wants to know if you worked with anyone growing up on technique. Did you take any motocross schools, or you have any trainers?
I did I was at a few different places growing up, but I got to give pretty much all credit to my dad. Mm-hmm. It was when I was on 85s and even 65s, it was so much technique based, and I would literally, cause we didn't ride, not homeschooled, so we would he would get off work at 5 o'clock. I'd have the van loaded, get in my gear on the way to the track, and then get out and ride till dark. And there were some days that we'd hit this corner where I couldn't see anymore. But until I got it, he had a thing where it was easier to make a good habit than to break a bad habit, I think is what he said. So
okay.
I had to hit this corner so many times perfect because I dabbed my foot, elbows down, something like that. So I'd be out there till pitch black, can't see anything, just working on technique. And I think that's, from a young age, that's something that you don't really lose. I feel like every time I get take a break off the dirt bike, like off season or something like that, it comes right back to me, and it's something I don't really have to focus on, which is good because I can focus on other things like my off the bike training or just pure motos and stuff like that. So yeah, gotta give the credit to him. Even when I think he's wrong, he's normally right. So just that was a lot of work when I was younger.
Did you, when you had that growth spurt after in the mid 250 class there or whatever, did it screw you up a little bit? Did you, or did nothing affect it? Like, or so it did work, jack you up a little bit? Yeah,
because when I was smaller, I think. So actually, I kind of hit a growth. I was really small, like 85 class. I was super small. And then I got on the 250. I was smaller when I was on the Yamaha. And then I just kind of hit a little bit of growth spurt when I was probably 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there. And so when I was younger, I sat pretty far forward on the bike. And when I got bigger, it didn't really work that well. So my dad would actually put, like, you know how they put bumps in the seat?
Yeah.
So you don't slide. He'd put it up in front of me, so I couldn't sit past it or in front of it. Oh. So that's something I had to really work on, because I watch a lot of the GP riders and how they ride, especially Sand and even Kenny, and they sit farther back and more neutral on the bike, and that's something that I had to work on mid 250 career. I think it was 2019. I really had to focus on that, and it's something I am actually better at now. I sit more middle, more feet on my pegs, and but that was something when I got bigger, sitting more towards the front was just awkward. And since I was so small growing up, that to get weight on the front, I had to sit up front. So that's something I had to adjust to when I hit that little growth spurt I had.
Yeah, what up, Chase? This is Logan. I just wanted to touch on the Peter Park thing. I actually did a lot of my training out there with Peter. He's a really, really, really smart dude. It seems like he kind of goes back to like a lot of the fundamentals, like just kind of simple things that you almost kind of wouldn't think about, you know? Did a lot of my training with Daniel Lobb. I'm sure you know him out there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool to see you working with Peter. He's a super, super smart dude.
Yeah, he's almost, I almost say he's a little bit too smart for a motocross rider, because I always say that motocross is so much talent, and it's not talent based, but if you're comfortable on your dirt bike, it's, I think 30%, at least 30% easier. Like if you're struggling with bike setup or you're getting arm pump, you could be the fittest guy in the world and you're still going to get tired. So but like I said, you do have to have that base training, and it does help me this year. And he's really smart. Like sometimes he kind of goes over my head a little bit, and he's really good with, especially in the gym, like the technique thing, and he's wants you to do everything perfect and is really a perfectionist. So that's something that's helped me. And I think, I hate to say it, but the amount of times I hit the ground this year, thank God I'm a stronger guy, because there's probably a few times I wouldn't have gotten up or had a minor injury after one of those crashes. So I think that's also a thing you have to look at. If you're a little bit bigger or stronger, I wouldn't say it's easy to get up from those crashes, but I think it does help me out, being able to bounce back up.
All right. Thanks for calling in, man. We really appreciate it. Congratulations. 1-1. Crushed it. It was amazing, man. Thanks for calling in the show, Chase, and we'll see you at Hangtone.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about the phone.
No worries.
I apologize for the service problem, but thank you guys. I'll see you guys this weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chase. Appreciate it. Thank you. Brought to you by OGO Power Sports. Again, email us using the contact form on PulpMX.com. We'll pass it on to the folks at OGO, and we can dial you in with whatever you want from the folks at OGO. And it's great to have Chase Sexton on.